Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we are taking a look at probably one of the hardest boss modules in the game, Simon Forgets. So, as I just said, this is a boss module. So it's a module where you have to record stages and input them at the end. And the reason why this is probably the hardest and most unpopular module is because of the tedious work that is required to go into this module. And I'm about to show you why it's so tedious, because it is not fun. I'm going to be real. So what you have to do is, first we actually have to solve a module. This module does not activate at the beginning, and let's just see what happens. So let's start solving some tool medias. So now we have stage 1 right here, and you'll notice here, the important thing that we must recognize is we have LEDs that are lit up in this little top left right here. They will be lit up like this. You'll see them there. They kind of stick out from one another. And so what we're going to do is, on each stage, use the lit LEDs, the colors of the buttons, and the sequence of the flashing buttons to determine the correct sequence of colors in order to press to solve the current stage. So this module, what it's saying is, it requires an input for each stage. So that's another thing that makes this module so annoying. It requires an input on each stage, and it requires an output at the very end when everything else is solved. This is what makes this module so tricky. So the current stage, in order to solve the current stage, this would be called the stage sequence. So that is what we would press when solving the stage, so we can essentially deactivate the module for that stage. If we were to solve another module before we input the sequence, we would be rewarded a strike. So the first 2 stages are 5 colors long, the next 2 stages are 4 colors long, and any subsequent stage is 3 colors long. So that's very important to note. So let's just first off get the stage sequence. So let's see what we're flashing here. So we have blue, orange, magenta, pink, orange. I'm going to note down pink as an India, magenta as magenta, and purple as pop. So let's do that. So now, what we need to do is use this very first section, so the flashing sequence that we have right here. We're going to calculate a stage sequence using these very, very interesting tables here. And so what we need to do is we need to do this for each color. So let's find blue first, and we'll go through this little chart. Each of them have 2 conditions, and then 2 conditions, and then 2 conditions, which lead to 2 potential colors. So let's do this. So condition A is the green LED is not lit. That is true in this case. The green LED right here, as you can see, is not lit. So we can follow that path. Cyan is on the bottom row. This is referring to these colors on the buttons right here. Cyan is not on the bottom row, it's on the top row, so that will be else. The last digit of the serial number is odd. It is in this case. And for this color, our button will be orange that we will press. Next up, let's do orange. And the nice thing is that there's 2 of them, so that makes our work a lot easier. Blue LED is not lit. Blue LED happens to be the only lit one, so we're going to go to else. Purple is on the top row. No, purple is on the bottom row. The number of solved modules is odd. The nice thing about this stage counter is it does tell you the amount of solved modules that you have, unless there are some ignored modules, so don't forget about those. But in this case, the number of solved modules is 1, so that will be true in this case, and that will equal to green. And then we'll mark this last one as green too, because that's just another orange. Next up, let's go to magenta. Where is it? There you are. White LED is not lit. That is true, because that's only blue. Green is on the bottom row. It is in this case. And the last digit of the serial number is even. We said that that was an odd. So that is true. So that is not true. So that will equal out to be red. Magenta is now equal to red. So next up, and lastly, pink. Blue is on the top row. That is true. Red LED is lit. Nope. And stage number is odd. Stage number in this case is right here. So that will be red in this case. So this little sequence that we have right here is what we're going to be inputting back onto the module. But there's one final catch that we must do before I do that. And it's very important that we get this work done when the stage is there. So we're going to get rid of the notes that we received from the module. And now we're going to go down here and determine the calculated sequence. And this part is used to determine the sequence you need to press at the end. So not only do you need to calculate a sequence for the stage that you are currently on, you need to calculate for each stage a final sequence at the end. So now, what's very important about this and why I'm doing this now is because the buttons will change colors on each stage, so be careful. So it's going to ask you to shift up or down some colors, and what it's going to want you to do is essentially input that sequence at the end. And the reason why it's important is because it wants you to shift up or down by these colors only, this ordering of colors. If in the second stage, it would be the second order of colors, in the third stage, etc., and so on and so forth. So, what exactly do we need to do? We're going to take a look at the first stage. It goes from the first stage to the second stage to the third stage, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and any other stages. So for this, what we'll just do is it will determine what stages instructions it will be, or to just simply shift up by 3. So let's take a look at our first stage since we are in the first stage. If the bomb has no indicators at all, it does have indicators. If the bomb has both an unlit car and a lit FRK, it has neither of those indicators. The bomb is either a lit car or unlit FRK. Nope. If the bomb has no lit indicators, it does have a lit indicator. Otherwise, shift each color down by the amount of lit indicators. So now down, what it means is you're essentially going to be shifting backwards. And it says the colored buttons are numbered in reading order starting from 1 and wrapping around. So if we're going to be shifting down, we're going to be shifting down by 1 since we only have one lit indicator. So orange is going to be shifted down by 1 to purple. Green is going to be shifted down 1 to magenta. Red is going to be shifted down to pink. And green is going to be shifted down to magenta. Shifting down is backwards, shifting up is forward. Hold on a minute. Apologies for that. So now that we have our calculated sequence for this stage, we're going to input the stage sequence that we received beforehand into the module. So we're going to input orange, and notice how the flashing stops afterwards, and you've inputted the successful color for that stage, or it just resets rather. So pressing a color will make the flashing sequence stop. If no other button is pressed during the 5 seconds, the input will reset and the flashing will start playing again. That's important to know. So let's do orange, green, red, green. And just like that, the LEDs turn off, the flashing stops, and that means you successfully inputted the stage. So let's continue on. And remember, we're going to be inputting this part at the very end, the second part of this at the very end. I'm going to keep this just in case. Actually, I don't need this anymore. So this is the part of the final stage. And this is exactly what's annoying about this module, is how much work it is required to take to do this. So this is what exactly you're going to be doing, is section 1 is determining the stage sequence using these not so complicated tables. And once you've determined that, you're going to determine the calculated sequence on the same stage, because watch, as I solve another module, you see this ordering, it's all different on each stage. And this is what's very annoying about this module, is how each color changes for each button. So that's where you have to be really careful. So next up, let's figure out what we're going to be working with here. Our flashing sequence is magenta, orange, blue, white, yellow. Let's figure out what each of these colors mean. So we have magenta. Pardon me. The white LED is not lit. Well, all LEDs happen to be lit in this case. So the white LED not lit is false. Purple is on the top row. That is true. Number of solved modules is indeed even. Yes, it is. And that's going to equal out to be purple. Orange is... Blue LED is not lit. Everything is lit, so no. Purple on the top row. Yes, that is true. Number of solved modules is even. Yep, that's true. So that will be white. Next up is blue. Blue is green LED is not lit. That's false. White is on the top row. That is true. It's right there. And the number of solved modules is even. That is also true. Next up, our color is cyan. For white, let's take a look. White should be down here. Pink LED is not lit. Nope. Yellow is on the top row. Yes. And the number of solved modules is indeed even. Again, yep. Purple. And then finally, yellow. Should be up here. White is on the top. White is on the top row. Yes. Green LED is lit. Yep. And the stage number is even. That is also true. So blue. So this is what we're going to be inputting into our module right here, right now. But let's go down to the second stage of our calculated sequence. If the bomb has more than one serial port, it only has exactly one. Speaking of which, if there is a serial port, shift each character up by 6. So we're going to be shifting this in reading order by 6. So from purple, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to cyan. White, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's green. Cyan, 1, 2, 3, we loop around, 4, 5, 6 to white. And then purple we said was a cyan, and blue up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pink. So let's input our stage sequence into this module, and let's save our calculated sequence for later. So we have purple, white, cyan, purple, blue. All the LEDs shut off. We're good so far. Alright, I'm going to speed things up a little bit because this is kind of just rinse and repeat. The longest part is easily just getting the stage sequence, and the calculated sequence is a little bit easier. So let's speed things up. And I will go over some of these rules because some of them do have a bit of interesting special stages, like for example 5th stage, and then the 10th stage, etc., etc. So let's continue on. For our next flashing sequence, it should be 4 as it's set up before. It should be 4 colors. So purple, magenta, cyan, cyan. Okay, that's exactly what we intended, as you can see up here. If you remember, the first 2 stages are 5 colors long, which was true. The next 2 colors are 4 colors long. Okay, we're at that part. And any subsequent stage is 3 colors long. So that does make it a little bit easier to figure out, but it's still a little annoying how much work has to go into each stage. So next up is purple. Oh, cancel. So purple, green is on the top row. That is true. Yellow LED is lit. That is true. It says it right there. And the stage number is not even, so it's going to be magenta. Magenta, let's take a look at that. White LED is not lit. It is lit in this case, so that is not true. Purple's on the top row. Nope. Number of solved modules is odd. Yes, that is true. Pink. And then finally, cyan twice. Red is on the top row. Yep. Pink LED is lit. In this case, no, it's not. This is the pink LED. That's the magenta, and that's the purple. The pink is not lit in this case. Stage number is odd. No. Yes, it is actually, rather. Sorry. Yellow, yellow. This is our stage sequence right here. We have magenta, pink, yellow, yellow. Let's go down to stage 3. If the bomb has more than 3 battery holders, we have no batteries at all. If the bomb has more than 3 batteries in the bomb, no. If the previous calculated sequence does not contain blue, the previous calculated sequence does not contain blue, shift each color down by the blue button's number. So we're going to shift each color down by the blue button's number. In this case, that corresponds to 1. So we're going to shift each color down by 1. So let's do that. So magenta, so back 1 is green. Pink, back 1 is purple. And yellow, back 1 is pink. And let's input the calculated sequence, being magenta, pink, yellow, yellow. All the LEDs turned off. We're good to go so far. Let's continue on. Stage 4. This should be the last fourth sequence. In this case, we have magenta, pink, magenta, pink. Nice. That's a really nice sequence. Magenta. The white LED is not lit. That is true. Green is on the bottom row. No. Last digit serial number is indeed odd. Yep. It's going to be magenta. Next up is pink, and this will actually be the last one for this sequence, which is nice. Pink. Blue is on the top row. No. Blue LED is lit. Yes. The total solvable module count on this bomb is odd. 1, 2, 3. Actually, we can just solvables is 14. So this is not true, because it is even amount of solvables on this bomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So pink actually just goes back to pink. So this is just going to be the same exact sequence. Cool. And now let's take a look at our calculated sequence that we need to do. If both red and green LEDs were lit, red is lit but not green. If the green LED was lit, nope. If the red LED was lit, that is indeed true. And the green LED was not lit, shift each color up by 2. So up 2. So magenta up 2, 1, 2 is red. Pink up 2 is white. So red, white, red, white. So what we're going to end up doing is just re-inputting the sequence. Magenta, pink, end of sequence. Get rid of the stage sequence and input the calculated sequence. Next up, stage 5. Now everything should just be 3 colors flashing. Blue, white, white is what I'm seeing. Yes, good. So blue is going to be, let's figure it out. Blue, green LED is not lit. That is true. Cyan is on the bottom row. Yes. Last digit serial number is even. We said that was a 3, so no. That's going to equal out to be red. And lastly, onto white, because there's 2 of them. White. Pink LED is not lit. Pink LED is lit, as you can see right here. Yellow is on the top row. No. Number of solved modules is odd. We're currently at our first stage, so that is true. So it is odd. And pink is going to be our colors that we're going to be pressing. So we're going to press red, pink, pink. For our 5th stage, this is a special stage. Use the lit LEDs to calculate a number, then shift up by that amount if the serial number ends with an even number, otherwise shift down. So whatever number we get from our adding up of colors is what we're going to be shifting down by. So in this case, we're lucky enough to only have 2 LEDs lit, so we don't have to worry about much math here. In this case, we have pink lit, and we have magenta lit. And that is it. So now what we're going to be doing is adding all of these up. So it's going to give us 6, 5 plus 1 equals 6, and we're going to shift down by this amount of colors. So shifting down 6. So red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is white, and pink, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is purple. So let's input red, pink, pink to turn the stages off, and let's continue on. So green, pink, what's our magenta, green, pink. For stage 6, magenta. White LED is not lit. It is lit. Purple's on the top row. Nope. Number of sub-modules is on. Nope. White. Next up is green. Cyan LED is not lit. It is lit in this case. Yellow's on the top row. Nope. Number of sub-modules is not on. So magenta. And then pink to finish it off. Blue is on the top row. Nope. Blue LED is lit. That is indeed true. The total solvable module count is not true, so that's going to be pink. It's not odd, excuse me, it's even. It's going to be pink. So this is going to be our calculated sequence, or I mean our stage sequence for this stage. Onward to stage 6. If the white LED was not lit, it is lit. If the red LED was not lit, it is not lit. Shift each color up by 3. Let's do just that. So shifting each color up by 3. 1, 2, 3 to pink. So white will be shifted up to pink. Magenta. 1, 2, 3 to orange. And pink. And then pink will be 1, 2, 3 to red. Let's input white, magenta, pink. Solve that stage. Let's continue on. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer tutorial, don't mind that. Let's continue on. So we have purple, green, orange. Just make sure. Purple, green, orange. Purple is going to be, green is on the top row. Yep, yellow LED is lit. Stage number is not even magenta. Green. Cyan LED is not lit. It is not lit, yep. Red is on the bottom row, yep. Last digit of the serial number is not even. It's a 3. It's going to be purple. And then orange. Blue LED is not lit. That is true. Green is on the bottom row. Nope. Last digit is odd. Yes. Blue. We'll be inputting that. For stage 7, if the previous calculated sequence contains a red, yes it does. This is very much true. As you can see, we have a red there. Shift each color up by 1. So everything we've got right here, magenta up by 1 to pink, purple up by 1 to green, and blue up by 1 to orange. Let's input magenta, pink.
Oh, I would love to give you that, but I really can't.
Oh, excuse me, magenta, purple, my bad. Magenta, purple, blue. Notice how even if you do get a strike, it will just, it just resets your input basically. You don't have to worry about that. You still have to input something else. So, next up, that's my bad. I mistaken pink for purple, so let's ignore that. Next up, last 6 modules. Come on, we can make it. Yellow, magenta. So taking a look at yellow will be, white is on the top row. Yep. Green LED is not lit, only red is. Stage number is not on, so pink. And magenta. Where are you? White LED is not lit, true. Green is on the bottom row, no. Last digit is indeed odd, magenta. Stage 8. If orange LED was lit, nope. It's only going to be red. Pink LED is not lit, green LED is not lit, purple LED is not lit. Shift each color up by 4 for the 8th stage. So we're going to take these colors. Pink, shifted up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue, and magenta shifted up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange. Just going to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. And inputting pink, magenta. Next stage. red, magenta, orange. Cancel. We have red. Orange is on the top row. Nope. White LED is lit. Yep. Total solvable module count is not odd. It's even. Magenta. Magenta is... White LED is not lit. It is. Purple's on the top row. Yep. Number of solved modules is not even. That'll be blue. And lastly, orange. Blue LED is not lit. It is. Purple is on the top row. Yep. Number of solved modules is not even, so red. Be inputting that. Now, what's our calculated sequence for this one? Stage 9. If the serial number contains at least two letters in the word Steinway, we have Hotel Quebec, Zulu Golf, none of those present. If the serial number contains at least 2 letters in intimate, Hotel Quebec, Zulu Golf, we have a very interesting set of letters. Nothing in Oriental, nothing in Tacky, we have a hotel. No Zulu, no Quebec, no Golf. Otherwise, shift each color up by 2. So magenta is going to be up 2. So that'll be to pink. Blue is up 2 to magenta. Red is up 2 to yellow. So in this case, we're going to input magenta, blue, red. LEDs turn off. We're good to go. Let's finish this up. Purple, pink, green, pig. Alrighty. Alright. Purple. Green is on the top row. Yellow LED is not lit. Stage number is not odd. Blue. Pink. Purple's on the top row. Blue is on the top row. No. Blue LED is not lit. Total solvable module count is not odd. It's even. Else is green. And lastly, green. Let's head up here. Cyan LED is not lit. That is true. Red is on the bottom row. Yes. And last digit is not. And last digit of the serial number is not even. So purple. That is what we will be inputting. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Welcome to the 10th stage. This is another special stage. Exactly 2 LEDs will be lit during this stage, and based on the LEDs, refer to the table below for a value and shift each color up by an amount if the serial number contains a value, otherwise down. We have no values, so whatever number we get from this table is going to be down. So, this is actually a little bit interesting. So we have white and orange. So white and orange, and the nice thing is that you can highlight it whichever row or column. They will equal the same thing. So now, with this case, there is some negative values, and that actually does bring me to this next point, is that if you happen to be shifting down by -3, you're essentially just shifting up by 3. So just remember the fact that you have shifting up and down. Shifting down by -5 is essentially the same as shifting up by up by 4. So just a reminder of yourself, if it's a plus and you have to shift down, you just do that exactly. However, with a negative, you're going to just reverse what you do. But in this case, we have a +5. We're going to shift down by 5. So from blue, shifting down by 5, and either way, it doesn't matter what direction it goes for 5, it's still going to end up at the same point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is pink. Green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is red. And purple is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is white. So we're going to input blue, green, purple. Very close to being done, so do not fret. We only have 3 more stages left to go. And then after the 11th stage is where we'll get into some of the more interesting rules. And for bigger bombs, which I highly recommend you don't do with this module, I'll explain where the any other stages comes into play. It makes it a lot easier and a lot less rules to go through. But I'm just making sure to cover each of these rare stage cases. So next up for stage 11, we are going to be working with purple, white, orange. Purple is, green is on the top row, yep. Yellow LED is lit, yes. Stage number is not even, magenta. White, pink LED is not lit, that is true. Cyan is in the bottom row, yep. Last digit of the serial number is not even. That's going to be, we'll take to yellow, and then orange, lastly. Blue LED is not lit, that is true. Then green is on the bottom row, nope. Last digit of the serial number is odd, that's going to be blue. Now down to calculated stage 11. If the white LED was lit, it is in this case, yep, shift each color up by the white button's number. So up by 6, in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. White is the 6th button. So magenta, up by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for white. Yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to blue. And then blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to cyan. Let's input magenta, yellow, blue. And lastly, our last stage that we're going to be working with here is stage 12. We have pink, magenta, cyan. Let's head back up to here. Pink, blue is on the top row. Yep. Red LED is lit in this case. Yep. Stage number is even. Yes, indeed. And that's going to equal to green. Magenta. White LED is not lit. No, it is lit in this case. Purple is on the top row. No. And the number of solved modules is odd. No, not in this case. So white. So make sure white LED is lit. Purple's not on the top row. Number of solved modules is even. Okay. And finally, cyan. Red is on the top row. Nope. Blue LED is lit. Yep. Total solvable modules on the bomb is not odd. It's even. So that'll be white. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is the really annoying part of this module is how much you have to repeat yourself. If I were to change this module, the one thing I would do is straight up say, do not change the colors of the buttons each stage, so that you can actually just make your life a little bit easier with calculating some of these conditions. That's the thing that I would say, no. I would just straight up say screw you, because at this point, that's what makes this module so difficult, is the fact that you have these colors shifting each stage, and they're always randomizing the colors. So that's the most annoying part. Anyways, on to stage 12, we have our stage sequence of green, white, white. On any other stages, after we're past the 11th stage, we're going to be using these rules, which could actually give you instructions to go to. So that's very important to pay attention to. If the white LED is lit, we happen to get lucky, because it is in this case, we're going to shift up each color by 3. But in this case, if the yellow LED was lit, which it wasn't, if the pink LED was lit, no. If the magenta LED was lit, yes, we would be, no, actually the magenta is not lit, that's purple, excuse me. Red would be lit. Red would be lit in this case. If white was not lit, we would use the 5th stage instructions, and so on and so forth. But in this case, we're just going to end up getting lucky, and we're going to shift each of our colors up by 3. So green, 1, 2, 3 to blue, and then white, 1, 2, 3 to pink. Lastly, let's input green, white, white to shut off this stage, and let's solve our last module. And now, what we must do is we must input all of our calculated stages into this module. And the very unfortunate thing about this is it does not let you know when you complete a stage. So here we go. So we have purple, magenta, pink, magenta, We have cyan, green, white, cyan, pink. We have green, purple, pink, pink, red, white, white, purple, purple, pink, orange, red, pink, green, orange, blue, blue, orange, pink, magenta, yellow. Last few stages, pink, red, white, white, blue, cyan, and lastly, blue, pink, pink. There we go. Now, just to show you how rough that module is, we've done it. So, this is the reason why no one plays with this module, but I decided to make a tutorial anyways. I'm glad it's recording because I don't want to make this again. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys never play this module, unironically, because it kind of does. It's not. It was meant to be a joke module, but it's not funny because of how bad it is. But the concept of it is not too bad. It could be executed a lot better. I'd say that the only criticism I have for it is making the random colors is really hard to deal with. How it always changes the color. I do like the fact that the first 2 stages are 5 colors long, the next 2 stages are 4 colors long, and any subsequent stage is 3 colors long. It does make you a little bit easier, but at the same time, each stage sequence does not need to be this long of looking through just several table lookups. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'd say this is probably going to be one of my better ones. As always, stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.